Happy Sunday, everybody, and welcome to your Nintendo Enthusiast Class vs. Crass Nintendo Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Jason Lapine, and joining me, as always, Shawn Long.
Thanks. That was a great.
I had something for you.
Great intro.
I had a middle thing, and I lost it. I blanked.
It's okay. Thank you for the attempt. Anyways,
I'll try. 1 year later, and I'm still trying. So if you are joining us for the first time, this is the Class vs. Crass Nintendo Podcast, where Shawn and I get together every Sunday at 8, sometimes it's 9 p.m., and we talk about Nintendo news, Nintendo goodness, all Nintendo stuff, and boys, there's so much more to talk about now than there was in the past year. It's a 1 hour podcast where we spend about 15 minutes talking about what we've been playing over the last few weeks, and then we get into the headlines, and then we take the last 15-20 minutes for the lightning round. That's where we take your questions or topics, but we don't have to wait till the end for that. If you have any questions, topics, do drop it in the chat. We'll be picking those up. All right, last week, Shawn, you had a pretty successful stream without me.
I did.
The best one ever on this channel.
It was.
Let's see if we can beat that tonight, or let's see if we
Doesn't
have
look
half. If not, I think I know that I might know what the problem is with this show.
Royal Rumble's on.
Yeah.
I have the Royal Rumble up on another screen right now.
So you're gonna give us live updates?
They just did the championship match because the Royal Rumble itself is. What I don't get is they're doing like a 4-hour show and they've already done the championship match. So I mean, the Rumble itself will only take an hour. I don't know. I haven't really been paying attention to the card, but I don't know.
All right.
I only watch the bigger events.
Nice. Well, keep us updated, more so the ones that are wrestling fans in the chat. I have no care or concept of it. So let's get started right away with what have you been playing since last week?
Well, I actually had a funny thing happen to me last night. I bought Killer 7 recently on the GameCube, which is a Suda51 game, and I wanted to play it. So I was like, okay, let me find my GameCube, and I found like all the hookups and everything, and then I couldn't find the GameCube. Found the GameCube, couldn't find a controller. Found a controller, tried to plug it in, and like the connector at the to plug it in was broke. And I was like, shit. And I was like, well, I got a Wavebird somewhere. I dug up my Wavebird. Of course, I couldn't find the stupid thing that you plug in to the GameCube. Finally found that, put some batteries in it. The batteries didn't work. And I'm like, well, maybe these batteries are just shit. So I go to this freaking gas station, get some fresh batteries, come back home, put the batteries in, batteries don't work. So I never got to play Killer 7. The whole process took like an hour, and I never got to play it, so I ended up playing Dreamcast instead.
After that story, you're probably not going to touch that thing for another year, if you're anything like me.
No, I bought a new controller. I bought one of those Smash Brothers controllers off Amazon. It was kind of pricey, but it was whatever. I wanted like a legit one, so yeah, I got that coming. It should be here tomorrow, so I could play Killer 7 sometime this week. But I've actually been playing a game that was released on the GameCube, and that is Sonic Adventure. But I've been playing the Dreamcast version. Amazing game. Amazing.
Isn't that really buggy? Because I got the director's cut on Steam, and it's buggy. Sonic falls through the platform.
No, I haven't had problems with it.
Okay. Does it like get?
I mean, it's
good at one point. Like I don't like the intro. Like beginning.
I mean, it's a different sort of game. I feel it was the first real 3D Sonic game that was released, so it was different. They tried out a lot of different things. I think a lot of them worked. There's a few things that didn't. The camera obviously is pretty poo-poo, but it's a 3D platformer from the late 90s.
Yeah.
But other than that, like it's a really like the snowboarding level that I just did was really fun. I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. Before we get
into it's
a
fun game.
All right. I'll have to give it another shot. Before we get into what I've been playing, we've got George or Jorg. Not sure if I got that right. Thoughts on Resident Evil 7 so far? I know you're a big Resident Evil fan, Shawn. I am not. Have you played the new one?
Nope, haven't bought it yet.
There you go.
I've been on the fence. I was going to buy it because it was one of my most, I don't know. Like every time I watch someone play it, I'm just like, doesn't look very Resident Evil-y. And I don't know. I'm gonna buy it eventually, but I've been cautious, and I don't really know why. Because I can afford it, but I don't know. I just having it.
All right. So there you go. No Resident Evil opinions on this podcast, but we will have a lot of Switch. So what have I been playing last week? I played 3 hours of Switch, Nintendo Switch, as well as the whole launch lineup. I have like 13, 14 games I played on it. We're going to talk a lot about that tonight. I've also got a vlog up, so if you've seen my vlog, you're going to know the gist of what I said, and I can take your questions. But aside that, what else have I been playing? I've been putting more time into Paper Mario on the N64, which I'm actually getting close to finishing. I'm in the Crystal Palace, going after my last star. And I was trying to like 100% Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, only to realize it's ridiculous. I'm at the final boss, and my dudes are level 33. And I looked up what the max level was just for curiosity, and it's 100. And I'm like, okay, this isn't going to happen. I'm not going to grind 70 levels. So we'll see. Why are you timing out jerps? Other than that, did I get any new games? I was tempted to pick up Kingdom Hearts 2.0. I don't know if there's any Kingdom Hearts fans in the chat. But after further looking at what you actually get for the full price of a PS4 game, it's like 70, 80 bucks here in Canada. It's just not worth it. That Aqua Quest, which is the only unique content, it's like 3 hours of content. That looks good, but I'm not going to pay 80 bucks for it. So,
yeah.
I don't
know. I haven't played it. I haven't played a Kingdom Hearts in quite a while.
Yeah. I'm not going to really dive into like the Switch games. We can do that more in the lightning round or something. Or if you have, do you have questions? Probably not. You would have asked me by now.
I was just going to leave it up to the people.
Yeah. Well, let me know if you guys want any comments on Nintendo Switch hardware games. But now let's get into the headlines. What's been making the news in Nintendo Land last week? So, Shawn, you had a topic that you were talking to me just prior to us going live.
One of the things is that the Switch, it was with a PR manager of Germany for Nintendo, said that you could have single cart multiplayer with up to 8 people just using one cart, which I don't like. Some people are like, oh, what's the big deal? I'm like, well, there's never been a home console that does it. Well, it's a handheld. It's like, okay, no, it's not really, but yeah, I think that would be pretty interesting, because you could do a lot with that.
Yeah, for sure. And it doesn't require your buddy to spend $500 to get a Switch in a game. Or
you have to have this. You have to have the system.
True.
How else are you going to play the game?
Yeah, that was just blonde moment. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the system, I think that would be pretty cool. And there's also what else happened? Some guy played the Switch for 3 hours.
So speaking of that, in the chat we got Arfin saying, was I at the Switch event in Toronto? Yes, I was. Have I played Breath of the Wild? I did not play Breath of the Wild simply because I know I'm going to love it and I want to have a whole fresh experience. But I was watching Jason Hooft, who's the host, the YouTuber at JKB. He was playing it. He was actually one of the attendees that was complaining about the frame rate. And honestly, I didn't see it. He says, "Oh, look, it just happened." And like when he was walking through the grass, I didn't notice it, honestly. And I watched his video. I didn't see it in the footage he put up. But he said that other people were also complaining about frame rate drops. I know our friend Shane from Rerez, he played it. He saw no problems with frame rate drops. So I'm not overly concerned about it. Like if there were issues, it's probably limited to the demo, but I didn't see anything that suggests that there's a major issue that will hamper the experience of Breath of the Wild.
Well, The demo was the E3 demo, wasn't it?
Actually, this one's a bit different. I did confirm that, asking if this was the same build as E3, and they said no, it was a more updated build with a little bit more stuff in it. So they weren't the same.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it also wasn't. So the demo they had at that event. So this is probably the same demo that was at the New York event 2 weeks ago, and at the Toronto event, probably at PAX South and probably PAX East, maybe. Mm-hmm. It's not the full game either. It's just a demo. It is just that plateau area.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
What else? Talk about what else you played. I mean, you might as well.
Sure. I'm just going to go through the chat. We'll make this more of an organic talk tonight since we've been out for 2 weeks, and that format worked well for you last week. What do you think of people preferring Wii U Breath of the Wild over the Switch version? Shawn, you can take this.
No, but the only reason people would prefer the Wii U version is because they're cheap and they don't want to buy a Switch. Like there's no legitimate reason to get a Wii U version if you are getting the Switch. None. It looks worse. It'll probably play worse. Why would you get it? Why would you get a worse version of a game when you could get a better version of the game? That doesn't really make sense.
I think it's smart for those who are Wii U owners, which is probably most people in this chat. A day one purchase is always the worst time to buy a console. It's the most expensive time. You're paying full price for everything. There's no bundles. There's no price drops. I mean, if you're buying a Switch at the end of the year, you're probably going to have better value. There's probably going to be a bundle of some kind. You're just going to be in a better place. So for those who are looking to like be more of the economic gamer or like stretch out your dollar, that's where I see it makes more sense to get the Breath of the Wild Wii U version.
I mean, if you don't plan on getting, a Switch and you just want, and you're just going to keep your Wii U, that's fine. I just think a lot of people who have a Wii U that are upgrading are going to upgrade to the Switch. Like, it's not. Like, why are you holding on to it? Like, it's dead. You're not going to get anything else out of it. You might as well, if you're not a collector, you might as well just, trade in your Wii U towards the Switch or something. I don't know. I don't see the appeal of the Switch version, of the Wii U version at all.
Oh, the appeal is $300 difference. I know, like, in the long term. Yeah, I know in the long term, I get what you're saying. Like, if you're getting a Switch eventually, why put it off? Just get it now. We got Paul in the chat saying, did you go to the same event? Did you go with Shane to the same event? No, they broke us up into 2 groups. So there was a media group in the afternoon and a media group in the evening. I was invited to the afternoon one, and JKB was at that one. Shane from Rerez, he was invited to the evening one. He was also there with Epic Game Music. Or James, I think his real name is. Yeah. And Victor Lucas was also at that one, which I was a little bit jealous of. I was hoping to meet Victor. I've never met him before. All the YouTubers seem to be meeting him these days. Everyone but me.
Who is that?
Do you not know who Victor Lucas is?
No.
He's a Canadian gaming icon he is pretty much the first like gaming host. So he started the show called the Electronic Playground in 1995. And it's been running up until last year, so it ran for like 20 years. And it basically did what most YouTubers do. It covered gaming news, gaming reviews, and all that. So he's like a pioneer of gaming shows.
Does he still do it?
Well, his show got taken off air, and he moved over to the online space a year ago. So he's on YouTube now, and
how many subs you got?
Last time I checked, it was less than us, but he was just getting started. I think it's EP Daily or Electric Playground if you look it up. Really high quality content stuff there.
Let's see here.
But it's different format. It's not that YouTuber feel. It's very much like a blend of the new and old. So
how is he verified? He only has 22,000 subs.
Because he's a gaming icon, and he has spoken to pretty much everybody in the industry in the last 20 years.
I got more views than him last month.
Yeah.
So am I the American gaming icon?
No, there's so many people more important than you. Let's go. Yeah, Shane's tune has improved on the Switch from the event.
Jesus Christ, has it improved?
Right? That guy was very negative.
I hate the Switch. It sucks. No one's gonna buy. This is the best system ever.
It's perfection. And I'm quoting a tweet where he actually did say it was perfect. It looks better on handheld than on TV. I mean, the handheld screen is so beautiful. Like, it's going to look better just because everything is so much more compact. It looks great on the TV too, but like that screen is, it's a sexy screen. Like, it's really nice. I don't know how to say it other than that. Does it look better? I think it's an illusion. Like, the resolution should work out to the same thing, but I think just the fact of seeing something so crisp on such a small screen, I think we're just not as used to that. At least those, I guess, who don't use tablets.
Well, I mean, I use tablets sometimes.
Yeah. Nintendo loves saying, "How late am I?" Not late. We started 18 minutes ago. You use tablets to play Candy Crush, right, Sean?
No.
James asks, Jason, did you play Sonic Mania for the Switch? Yes, I did. And as a old school Sonic fan that stopped being a fan after the 3D stuff, I can tell you Sonic is back. Like, this is good Sonic. Sonic 2, Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles were my favorite Sonic games to this day. And Sonic Mania plays exactly like that. The physics are the same. It's the sound effects, the feel. It feels like they just feels good. You're gonna love it. If you like Sonic, you're gonna love it. Going through. What are your thoughts on... Oh yeah, we have a Nintendo Direct we didn't cover, the Fire Emblem stuff. What are your thoughts on Nintendo releasing Fire Emblem Warriors for the Switch and 3DS? Sean?
Well, it's for the new 3DS, so that really cannibalizes most of the market. And I don't foresee it really... I don't foresee it mattering. You know, like, I think people who have a Switch are gonna buy this. The Fire Emblem Warriors is not a system mover. It's not gonna be like, holy shit, this is out on the Switch, I need to buy this game. It's for people that have a Switch, so they have something fun to play. So if you have a Switch, you will buy it on the Switch instead of the 3DS. If you do not have a Switch and you have a 3DS, you'll buy it for the 3DS if you like the game. If you don't like the game, you just won't buy it at all. So I don't see how it will impact anything in terms of sales or whatever, because it's not a system mover. It's a fan service game.
Given that the fans are probably more on the 3DS platform, do you think that it will do better there simply because the fan base is most likely more on the 3DS than on the Switch?
I don't really think that. I think it just depends what platform you have. I mean, right now there are more new 3DS owners than there are Switch owners, and more than likely at the time of that release of that game, it'll be the same. So, yeah.
So no.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's gonna be more new 3DS owners than there are Switch owners in the fall.
Mm-hmm. And to counter my own question, Nintendo is really making almost a call to Fire Emblem fans to pick up the Switch with all of the games that are coming for the Switch in the Fire Emblem franchise. I mean, have you played the what was the last console one? It was on the Wii, correct? Radiant Dawn?
Yes.
Have you played that?
I did.
Is it... I haven't played it. So how does it compare to...
It was a strategy RPG game. It was a Fire Emblem game, and it looked like shit.
Really?
The graphics were really not good, and like, even taking into account the Wii's hardware, I thought the graphics were really ugly. Then again, Fire Emblem games have always, except for like the last few recent ones on the 3DS, they've always had just really questionable graphics because it's always been about the gameplay.
Right. So I'm excited to see what it is. Fire Emblem is a series I've only started getting into last year with Fire Emblem Fates, and I am looking to get acquainted with more of the franchise. So Nintendo's letting me do that. Arfin asks, did you see the My Nintendo article complaining that 10 seconds to load is too long and was comparing the Switch load times to smartphones? I saw the headline. I saw the hate on Twitter. I didn't even bother reading the article. That's just kind of a ridiculous comparison.
Stupid as hell.
Yeah.
It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
If you don't have 10 seconds, you don't play video games.
And that's to load,
Like,
just to get into the game, like to load the game. It's not an indication of anything else, right?
wow, 10 seconds. Like, just people, you know why they wrote that? So they could get ad revenue. Because even if you disagree with it, you're probably going to click it.
That's why
and
I
be
didn't
like,
click
oh,
it.
I don't agree with this. Right. And so, like, I mean, it's all for ad revenue.
And think of all the think of all the free advertising they're getting with all the YouTubers making a fuss about it, making videos about it, all saying, "Hey, did you hear what these guys said? It's so crazy," and then everybody goes and clicks on it. Don't fall for it, people. If it sounds stupid, it probably is stupid. If it sounds like a duck and looks like a duck, it's a duck.
I thought if it quacks like a duck.
Whatever. That we in Canada we change it.
Of course you would. A third world country.
These days, I don't know. Let's not turn this show political, though.
How much you spending on a video game, my boy?
Me?
That's right. Yeah. Land of the cheap video games.
Yeah.
Dollar.
Yeah.
Land of the dollar.
Going through the chat here for any other questions. You think it's possible they do like the Vita and make a cheaper Switch with a lesser quality screen?
No. What's the point?
That's what I would ask. What is the point?
To shave off a couple dollars? Like, the only reason Sony did that was because the Vita wasn't making that much money and they just decided to be cheap. Like, that totally... Like, have they ever... Nintendo handhelds don't go backwards. They always go forwards, you know, in screen quality. Game Boy to Game Boy Pocket. Game Boy Advance to Game Boy SP. DS to DS Lite. Like... It's not gonna be the opposite.
And in this day and age, with all of the small screen size technology, I don't think that's where they would save the most money. The controllers are super expensive. The tech, just the amount of tech that they fit into this screen, people, is unbelievable. That when you're gonna hold the Nintendo Switch, it's hard to imagine how much power is in this little device that's practically the size of your 3DS XL. It's crazy what it's capable of doing. I'm just still, I can hardly believe it. Paul is asking, are you guys planning on making a second debate between OG and Shane? Actually, that was on Shawn's channel, so we never actually hosted that. Well, we being Nintendo enthusiasts.
I don't think not on the same subject. I mean, do I want to do more debates? Yeah, because I don't know why, but a lot of people watched it. I'll probably wait for other topics where I see some of my friends have differentiating opinions and then do that.
It's usually what we look out for. If we see that there's a lot of discussion on Twitter or opposing points of views, that's usually kind of a good indication that we're going to call those people out and say, like, let's do a debate. Let's get you guys on a podcast and let's hear out your opinions and thoughts, because you just can't express yourself the same on Twitter as you can obviously in a voice video call.
Yeah, you only have 140 characters to work with.
Well, you could pick up your phone and talk into it and upload the video.
I mean, you could, but that's just too much work. You might as well just do a video.
Someone does
debate.
That's what I was referring.
I know.
If you could pick any one third-party game to come to the Switch, what would you choose?
It's an interesting question. Released or coming out soon or upcoming?
Let's say anything at all.
Well, I mean, anything now, I wouldn't really care because it's already released on another platform. And if I wanted to play it, I could just buy it on my PS4.
Okay, upcoming.
I don't know, man. There's not a Double Dragon 4. There's not a lot of stuff coming out that is really like, hey, I need to pick this up. Mass Effect Andromeda, I think that's gonna be a big disappointment. It'll get great scores, but I don't know. Like, I love Mass Effect games, and this game has just like
isn't Shepard
not really appealed to me.
Like, didn't they take the heart of the franchise out?
Yeah, it's like a new storyline. So I don't think there's not a whole lot on the horizon that I'm really super interested in. So I'm fine with the Switch's third-party offerings as long as the standards come.
I would
And by
say,
standards, I mean your Madden, your Call of Duty, all that
yeah,
stuff.
I would say either a Blizzard game. So your choices are probably like things that make sense would probably be Hearthstone or Overwatch, just because they've really blown up in popularity. You do have the unique aspect of the Switch being portable. That said, I don't know how many people would actually pick up the version on the Switch because it's been selling so well on every other platform. But if Nintendo could get creative, or if you could play against, like if it had cross-platform support, I think Overwatch. I think Overwatch would just be good from a business and sales point of view.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay, next up. But do you think they will bring Castlevania to the Switch, and do you think they should do a 3D or 2D? Let's hand that over
I
to-
honestly think there's a chance. It would require Nintendo going to Konami and being like, "Hey, make me a Castlevania," much like they did with Bomberman.
Given that,
But I think so. And no, it had to be 2D. 3D Castlevania games suck. There has never been a good one. Anyone who says that there has been a good one is a liar. Simple as that. There has never been a good 3D Castlevania game, ever. Do not argue with this. There has never been a good 3D Castlevania game. It's 2D or 2.5D, that's fine. That'd be dope.
so given
love
that they
it.
actually did get Bomberman on the Switch, do you think that there's more chances that Konami's willing to revive some of their old franchises here?
Money talks.
I would
It
hope.
don't sing and dance, and it can't walk.
You know,
Forever in Blue
if buying
Jeans.
Bomberman will help me get a new Rocket Knight Adventures on the Switch, I would do it.
I wouldn't hold your breath on
I
that.
know.
Rocket Knight. Nobody cared about Rocket Knight when it came out originally.
I know it was
so.
it's a hidden gem, honestly. And I hate
It's like a well-known hidden gem.
kind of, yeah. I feel that the remaster of 2010, I think it was, or whatever, recently, I feel that they were just doing that to maintain the IP. I'm like, oh, like you did a worse job with it. You didn't even treat it properly. Now it's back into.
Oh
the
god,
Konami
that
stuff.
game sucked. That game was so bad.
Yeah, I didn't even try it. It's on sale. I think you can pick it up for. It's on Xbox One now. Supports backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
So we got Jay Christie saying, what are some game franchises that you would love to see take advantage of the Switch's 8-player link up?
Bomberman. Call of Duty, sports games, first-person shooters. I mean, there's a huge market for that. That if the Switch sells well enough, it could be really interesting. Like because it really there's never been, like local multiplayer is sort of dying, but now it's starting to come back a little bit all of a sudden. I don't know how that happened, but I mean, just imagine playing a first-person shooter with, a couple of your friends in the same room, and everyone has their own TV, so there's no like looking and there's no whatever, or you could all team up and play online. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a ton of possibilities. Racing games, any sort of multiplayer game would really benefit by using that, in my opinion. I don't think there's a genre that isn't.
Mm-hmm. I don't really have an opinion on the topic. I don't see myself with 7 other people playing any kind of game. Even like Smash 8 players, I don't like. It's too much. But 8 players would work for pretty much the franchise, as Shawn pointed out. So I'm going through the comments, might be behind here, but we've got the Genius of Battle saying, new sub here. How are you guys doing? We're doing great. Thanks for subbing to us, and welcome to the Nintendo Enthusiast crew. We got Paul asking, explain how well the HD Rumble works. Dude, it's unbelievable. You've never experienced anything like HD Rumble. There's really no way to explain it. Like, if you don't understand it with the guy shaking it and showing you the ice cubes, which honestly I didn't understand, you cannot communicate it. The best way to communicate it is saying, hold this controller and move it around. You're like, oh my God, there's something alive in here, or there's balls moving. And then I'm like, okay, and I hit a button. I'm like, how many balls are there? There's a mini game in 1-2 Switch where you have to guess how many balls are inside a box. And on the screen is a wooden box and you can't see anything. And then you hold the Joy-Con and you move it around and you can feel like these ball bearings like moving and hitting edges of the controller, and it actually feels like there are 2, 3, 4 balls inside the Joy-Con controller. That's how crazy HD Rumble is. You can simulate that accurately the feeling of something inside the controller. I still don't know what they could do in a video game to make that appealing outside of a mini game, but it's ridiculous. It's very, very accurate.
I don't know how. I don't think I'll care much for it.
The whole milking game, that's garbage. Like you do not, you don't like feel like liquid going through your hand. That it can't simulate that, but it can simulate like something inside the controller moving around.
How do people not think that Castlevania 64 was bad? I specifically remember going to Target in Raleigh, and I was looking at N64 games with my mom, and I saw, ooh, Castlevania. I love Castlevania. There's a new one for the 64. Let's buy this. And I brought it home, and I literally, like, that was like the first time I ever played a game where it made me so mad that, like, I just hated it. Like, when you have the stupid part where you just have to, first off, the camera was terrible. The camera was atrocious. The combat was stupid. The puzzles were amazingly idiotic. The part where you can't jump and you have to walk and just walk with the ingredients to make the comment, that was it for me. I couldn't play it anymore. Just a terrible game, especially when you put it up. That. No.
RGT plays bad Nintendo games. Plays bad games on Nintendo platforms. Let's be specific.
There'd have to be a big language warning on that.
I just had an idea. I should make a top 10 worst Nintendo games for this channel. How appropriate for an enthusiast channel. But I'm really curious, like what really bad Nintendo games are out there in the last 20, 30 years? Like
you mean actual Nintendo?
Made by Nintendo.
Wow, I mean, you got Animal Crossing, Amiibo.
Right, but
I wanted to say another F word.
We all know what the recent ones are, but I would love to see the whole spectrum. Like,
I mean, there really hasn't been that many in the general spectrum, I wouldn't think. I mean, you could probably throw a poo-poo Mario Party in there.
That's the thing. We'd have to dig a little.
That would be interesting, though.
Yeah, Jason, will you be picking up a Switch Pro controller? Yes, I will. It's gonna hurt me because it's over $100 in Canada. But I played Splatoon 2 using the Pro controller, and having like that motion control inside the Pro controller just felt so intuitive. Like we know what a good game that utilizes motion control can do, and so I just love the feel of the Pro controller. It's my controller of choice. Like I prefer that over the square mutated dog controller.
How did the mutated dog controller feel?
I didn't get to actually play any game with it. Like, it was there to try, and it felt fine. The centerpiece, the grip that holds the two Joy-Cons, feels incredibly cheap. It feels like a Wii accessory. But they didn't have any games set up where you played with it. Like, it was either you played with one Joy-Con, two Joy-Cons, or a Pro controller. And like, the way I judge if the controllers are good is I didn't just sit there and like try to figure them out or anything. I just played my game, and if at any point the controller gets in my way of controlling the game, that's when it's a problem. And in this case, in all the control modes I tried, I didn't have any of those problems.
That's good.
What's your take on the Foxconn? Yeah.
No, you're good.
What's your take on the Foxconn leak after some of it was confirmed, like the weight and battery capacity? You know what this is about?
Yeah, it was a leak that came out, and a good portion of it ended up being true. I mean, that's cool. You know, some leaks are right. Some, like Laura Kate Dale, are wrong.
Yeah, there's so many rumors out there. I don't track them, and I'm not like, oh, this one was right, therefore everything else they say is going to be right. I don't buy into that. It's a dangerous game to play Because just because they're right once doesn't mean they're going to be right twice. What's that saying? A broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah,
I like it. That's my new thing. Jay, since the Switch is region free, couldn't you just import the games from the US and it would be cheaper than buying them in Canada? Well, no, because when I convert, I'd still have to buy it in American money, and American money is worth more. Like I would still after the conversion, like it's more money for me because no, it works out to the same thing. Do you think Blaze Blue and Street Fighter will be the only games to use the fight stick? Let's throw that over to our fighter guy here.
What was the question?
Do you think Blaze Blue and Street Fighter will be the only games to use the fight stick?
No, there'll be more.
Any?
I mean, they haven't announced stuff yet. I mean, they're just in the initial stages. I think you'll see more fighters come out eventually.
So we have Jack saying, "Host, sir." You don't have to call either of us that. I'm Jason. That's Shawn, or RGT. Do you think that Nintendo Online plans, including the virtual console games, would also upgrade GameCube games and Wii games to low HD graphics and improved online play? I want to say no. It's a lot of effort for them to do that. I think you're gonna see. Didn't you do a video, Shawn, where you compared Mario 64 and the N64 versus the Virtual Console, and you saw like a little bit of, like.
I mean, there's a little bit of a difference because of the screen resolution itself, and your main character tends to look better. But as far as like a full-on upscale, like I don't know, that would cost too much money.
Mm-hmm. Are you predicting Ultimate Marvel versus Capcom?
No.
Do you think GameCube Virtual Console will be there at launch? I'm guessing
no.
In the launch window. I think we're still going to get a Nintendo Direct or something to cover the online service. Like, we still don't know what's going to be on the eShop. What game is it? You know that Snipper Clips game where you cut each other out? That's an eShop only game. There's going to be no retail version of that. And
I heard that's coming out. I heard that's that's a launch title now, and $20.
Right. So the fact that it is coming out at launch for the eShop, and we don't know anything about the eShop yet. I'm guessing in the next month we're going to get some kind of Nintendo Direct or some kind of press release, which is going to detail what the new eShop is going to do. And they also have to explain to Wii U owners, like, is there going to be a transfer mode like there was from Wii to Wii U to save your save?
There should be. I mean, it's tied into your stupid My Nintendo stuff. Like, it makes no sense for there not to be.
I would hope so. And I'm really looking forward to learning more in the next month on that.
Hopefully they announce something relatively soon.
Yeah. The Vita screen is really beautiful. How does it compare to the Switch? I mean, both screens are beautiful. If you put them side by side, I would, which I didn't do, just going off my memory, I would say the Switch looks better. I might be biased because I looked at the Switch more recently. The Switch is a little bit bigger than the Vita. I think you have more higher definition on the Switch screen than on the Vita screen, right? Isn't the Vita screen less than 720?
Yeah, it's like
six. It's a weird number.
I think it's like 540.
It's 960 by 544.
So yeah, 944 versus
544.
720.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you do get more pixels on your Switch than on the Vita. Oh, someone just spoiled Mass Effect 3 for me.
You're never gonna play it.
No, I have all 3 games, but I couldn't get into it. Diablo 3 on the go, would that work?
I never really played any of those Diablo games, so I mean, it could work.
Could. Any game could work on the Switch. Like, just seriously, any, as long as like the really, really high tech demanding ones are like dumbed down a little bit in assets and art.
Not dumbed down. Scaled
down was the word I wanted. Thank you. All right, let's see if I can catch up on the comments. Where are we going? Where are we going? I don't know if someone pointed out Warcraft 4. I don't know if RTS would work well on the Switch. I feel you really need a keyboard and mouse for that. Talking about Konami, am I the only person here that would love a mystical ninja starring Gooman or Goman?
Omen. Yes, but that is a forgotten franchise. I don't foresee any sort of Goman. Maybe a Japanese only release, and with no region locking on the system. That could be a possibility because Goman has a bigger following in Japan than it does here. But I would love to see it. I love the N64 ones, but yeah, I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, Paul's saying I'd want Monster Hunter 5 for the Switch. I think Monster Hunter is going to be a definite title for the Nintendo Switch. It doesn't make sense not to have it there.
Yeah, it'll be there.
Like it was on the Wii U. It's on the 3DS. It sells well. There's a lot of love for it, and it's a game that would be perfect for the whole console take on the go model. So
it's pretty much become like a Nintendo franchise, even though it started out before it stared out, it was a Sony franchise initially.
Mm-hmm. That'd be kind of cool too, because now I don't know if Monster Hunter had local multiplayer on it. I don't think so, right?
What was that?
Monster Hunter, did it ever support local multiplayer? Co-op? Don't think so.
No.
So on the Switch version, imagine you could actually say like, oh, help me out on this hunt, pass them a Joy-Con, and off you go.
That would be interesting.
Some nerd with a bad username just wants to point out how amazing Redout and Fast RMX look. Yes, absolutely. Jason should scroll down the chat, but I don't want to miss all the questions. You guys got some good questions. I do need to scroll down. I see we're still talking about Castlevania 64 where I'm at. Do you think Nintendo should develop a Metroid title in-house, or should they give the keys to someone else?
Well, I mean, they gave the keys to someone else for Other M, and everyone cried about it, so they should probably keep it in-house.
Good point. I don't care as long as they release a console Metroid game.
As long as it's good, who cares? Who cares who makes it?
Yep, exactly. I see. Still going through the chat. Where are we at? People still talking about Castlevania 64. Man, this was like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, you're far behind, buddy.
I don't know if HD Rumble is a lot like haptic feedback. I don't believe that. Because Shane was saying the same thing. He's like, oh, it's like haptic feedback. We all know what it is. And then he went to the event Friday and he came back with his mind blown. And he had the same reaction as I did to HD Rumble. So I'm pretty sure it's vastly different. You know what? Let's just do a quick jump to the bottom. Sorry if I'm missing stuff. Jason, did you actually find the Joy-Cons comfortable? So I said this in my vlog. If you offered me any of the control, like the Pro controllers, the Xbox One controller, the PlayStation 4 controller, over the Joy-Cons, I would take any of the other controllers. But the Joy-Cons did what they needed to do. They're portable. You get two of them, and they don't get in the way of gaming. And I actually can't play the Vita long because I feel like my thumbs... I just feel like the joysticks are too small and too close. I did not feel that with the Joy-Cons. They felt fine. You know, they're not the most comfortable things. It's not that they're not comfortable. There's nothing really impressive about their comfort. They just get the job done. And they're not uncomfortable.
So you would... Are they too small? Do they feel flimsy? I thought they looked flimsy. Do they feel flimsy?
They don't feel flimsy.
Is there a weight to them? I like a good weight to my controllers.
No, they're super light. Like here's a PS4 controller. It's like a quarter of the weight of that. They're super, super light. They don't feel flimsy. They feel like advanced technology when you hold them. And it has like a matte. Is it a matte finish? Matte is the one that doesn't. Glossy is the one that's nasty. It has like a matte, smooth finish. They feel great. They feel solid. Like you're holding it, you're like, wow, I'm holding something expensive. Like it doesn't feel like a toy. Like when you hold the Wii U gamepad, it feels like, okay, this is a toy, right? The Joy-Cons feel more sophisticated than that. What would be the worst game to be ported over to the Switch? Amiibo Festival.
The Black Tiger game.
Oh my god, yes.
That thing looks so terrible. Jason, did you get to use the touchscreen on the Switch?
No, nothing used the touchscreen. And they didn't let, nothing was set up to show the Switch UI. Even when I was playing Street Fighter, I asked to switch the graphics from the hand-drawn graphics to the old school 16-bit graphics. And when he went into the menu to change that, it was like a very basic like boot menu. It was just a black screen with like 4 menu items. So all of these demos seem to be running in a very primitive environment. But one thing I did notice is when he did switch in the Street Fighter menu, it was the switches like that snap sound. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be in the UI, which is pretty sick. I like that sound. That's the one. Does the HD Rumble shake the screen in handheld mode? I can't say if it does because... Actually, I guess I could. No, I can't. I didn't play any game that used HD Rumble while holding the screen. Actually, that's not true. I played Mario Kart 8. The battle mode, I was holding the screen. And it's not shaking the screen. You're feeling it in your hands, the Rumble. But it's not.
How did Mario Kart 8 look?
Amazing.
Did it look better at 1080 60?
Did it look better on the TV than on the...
No, I mean, did the game just look better?
It did. But I'm pretty sure it's spec'd the same way as the Wii U, because isn't the Wii U a 1080 60 frame per second game?
I don't think so.
Pretty sure it was. No, it was glorious. And I was playing in split screen too, and it was running... I think, in split screen it drops frames on Wii U. It drops down to 30 frames. Here it was 60 frames the whole time. It looks super beautiful. Battle mode is everything you want from a Mario Kart battle mode. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is basically Mario Kart 8 perfected.
I'm pretty sure Mario Kart 8 was 720 upscaled.
Oh, was it?
I'm pretty sure.
Because, I played the level of the Toyland level where you're, riding around the bedroom on the toys. And everything just looks so crisp. And I was playing that with JKB, and he was saying the same thing. Whoa, this just looks so great. And you have that more, subtle vibration due to HD Rumble. You can get more variations in what you're feeling on the roads. Nothing that I noticed, nothing...
Would you say it was
really
a good vibration?
It was good
sweet
vibrations.
Sensation? No, Marky Mark.
Beach Boys. Missing some stuff here.
What do you think about Bloodstain?
Looks good.
Oh. I don't know. People are being a little too critical on it. Doesn't look bad, but it needs work. And it will be in development hell because it's a Kickstarter game, and every Kickstarter game goes into development hell.
Yep. Kickstarter games suck. I'm tired of them. All the ones I backed are subpar, and I'm upset about it. I just played one this weekend, and it really did not live up to my expectations. I will say one thing. There was one game I did not like at the Switch presentation, and it was called... What's it called? I think it was No More Heroes, or Has Been Heroes.
Has Been Heroes. So that's a $20 game.
And I didn't like it simply because I didn't that game has a learning curve to it, and obviously I didn't have enough time with the game to learn. It's like a roguelike RPG where I don't know why they made this decision. So it's by the same developers who made Trine, which is a great series. But you don't use the joystick or the directional pad to move and select your characters and issue commands. So you have the 2 mages and then the 3 fighter arrangement. And then there's enemies coming across the screen running, and you basically have to kill them before they hit you. That's how the battles are. And you can rearrange your 3 front runners so that they attack different rows. So there's basically 3 rows that they can attack. And you're constantly moving them, and you can chain them together, which is kind of cool. But overall, the execution is weird because if you want to have... I don't have a controller near me. If you want to have the top guy go down, you have to hit the top button, so at Y. Then you have to hit B to say go down, and then you have to hit A to say attack. and then like vice versa. And it's just a little sloppy. There's a learning curve to it. But in a demo environment, that was not a good game to show off. That's a game where you really need to sit down for like 30 minutes and really explore what the game has to offer. Other than that, it's a promising looking IP. It's just I didn't have fun with it in the demo setting. Nintendo doing VR? No, they're not. Didn't I do a bet on that here once?
I'm pretty sure you did.
Pretty sure I said I would eat Shawn's hat if, and I'm going to repeat it because I'm this confident that we are not going to see Nintendo do VR within the first year of the Switch, guaranteed.
There's no point. VR is less than 10% of Resident Evil 7 owners have played it in VR, and that's supposed to be like the creme de la creme for the system.
Yeah. There's not enough interest in VR.
It costs too damn much, and it's not good enough.
Ooh, I like this one. What are your thoughts on the Nintendo UK site saying you can hook up headsets directly to the system? Do you think this means the phone app is optional? I can go on a rant on this, so you go first if you have something.
Once again, it's just a bunch of information that we don't know, so I'm not going to say either way. You know, a lot of people say, oh, the phone app sucks. Well, you don't know what the phone app does. You don't know what it's for. You don't know how it works.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know, there's you got to use a phone app. You don't know that. All because Reggie said something along those lines. A, he could be misspeaking because, you know, people do that. And two, still don't know what it is. So, like, you know, it's way too soon to, you know, chastise it or anything. The system has a headset jack in it. More than likely, it's for a reason.
Right. It'd be, you know, as Shawn said, there's not enough information that's out. Just chill. A lot of people are jumping to conclusions, and the whole online service platform is the one thing that they have gone out of their way and saying like more information is going to come later. So just assume you know nothing about it right now. Because
Richard S. Oh, I almost said Richard S. Phone. He said phone app is probably for on the go, and more than likely, I could see that being the case when you undock the system, you use a phone app, so that way you're not. Oh, wait, that really makes sense though. You undock the system. You use the phone app because you don't want to waste the battery on the system, and doing some sort of online thing will obviously drain your battery faster than it being in docked mode. So that's actually interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's actually, helps save battery.
I'm just trying to think if you... No, you go with a Bluetooth headset when it'd be in console mode. Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna find out a lot in the next few months. It's gonna be interesting. What else? We got Hugo in the chat who's convinced VR is coming. Seems to have inside sources. I stand by. I don't believe anyone who will say they have inside sources. VR is not here. Not for Nintendo, for sure. I will eat a hat. I mean, I've said it 2 times. And I hope your source isn't the same as Obi-Wan's. Because where's Resident Evil on the Switch? Is all I'm saying. Any other questions regarding Switch or any recent news on the Switch?
There we are.
VR is a gimmick. Like Sony was in a position to really push VR. They had the world's attention. They pushed it at E3. They're saying, we're doing VR. They were the first out the door with VR headsets and everything. Where are they now? Where's all the VR marketing? Yeah. Where are the games? Where are the good reviews? Even I reviewed 16 VR games on the PlayStation VR, and one was worthwhile. None of them were worthwhile at the full price point of adapting VR.
It's dead.
But we'll see. Hey, you know, people can be wrong. I can be wrong. We'll see. But I'm convinced it's not. Oh man, we're already at the 9 o'clock mark. Anything you want to cover, Sean? How about you do your lightning round segment, even though we've been taking questions all hour? Are the triggers analog or digital on the Pro Controller? I think they're analog.
Analog. Nah, I'm just.
Here's a good one. What do you think Nintendo is going to do at E3? Stage show or direct?
Direct. Because stage shows suck. They always suck, and they're always boring, and they're always stupid.
They did one though this month, and it was bad.
And it sucked.
I hope they learned, and I hope they don't do it again. Directs are so much more efficient. Hey,
thank you, Jubal. Yeah. And I may just leave a comment telling people how to do the update. I've seen a bunch of other videos talking about the update.
Jake asked, do you think that AR is going to be implemented in future games developed for mobile?
Augmented reality? No.
You know, the 3DS was in a good position. Well. The 3DS was in a good position to make use of AR. They even had mini games with every 3DS that was shipped, and you have quite an install base, and nobody took advantage of it. So
people just don't care about those sort of gimmicks, man. Like, people don't care. Like, it's cool for a few minutes, and then you're like, okay, let me play a normal game, you know? Like,
Eric asks, how do the Joy-Cons feel in bigger hands? I don't know how you define big. I don't really have the smallest of hands, and I felt that they were fine. My hands aren't monster either, though. Like, I don't know what you would define. Here's a medium coffee, and this is my hand next to it. And they felt fine. The Joy-Cons felt fine.
My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours. They are my own.
Keep singing.
Not yours, they are my own.
Aqua?
This is Jewel, I think. No, it's Jewel, you freaking idiot.
Yeah. Do you guys see Sony or Microsoft attempting something similar to the Switch in a few years?
If it is successful.
I see Microsoft doing it. They're in a better position to do it. Sony would need to first admit they messed up with the Vita and then like relaunch the Vita, like a new Vita, the Vita XL or something.
The
Vito. I think it would make sense if the Switch takes off. This kind of gives an answer to Microsoft and Sony, like, oh, how do we make our consoles different from a PC rig? And then they could just be like, oh, cool, Nintendo found the solution, like they always do. Let's just do that. And like Microsoft has a pretty good tech that they could turn around. Like they could take their Surface tablet and just.
Microsoft is done with consoles. Done. It's over after the Scorpio. It's done. They're already moving everything over to the PC. Get this figment of Microsoft being in the home console race out of your imagination, because it's over. It's done. The ship has sailed. The end.
I'm really going to be curious to see what this holiday looks like, because you're going to have Scorpio on the shelf next to a Switch. And that's going to
be have an overpriced thing that'll still play the same freaking games versus a VR headset versus the Switch.
Yeah. I think you're going to see HD Rumble show up in other tech. Maybe even like in the phone, into like cell phones or something. HD Rumble is going to expand into other companies. Other companies will definitely be copying it, but I still don't understand what the applications of HD Rumble is. That's really like, someone's going to figure it out and they're going to be like, oh, how did we live without HD Rumble before this? Right. I'm thinking like horror games, it could work. Like you're holding a weapon and like the weapon gets possessed or something, and you feel like a bug or a ghost moving around in your hand.
Eternal Darkness.
Does that game do that?
Sanity meter makes you do crazy things.
Do you think 1-2 Switch is worth $50? Absolutely not.
No.
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 And I'm really shocked. Like, they need to announce that there's more to this game than what they've shown, or that the price is supposed to be lower. I don't know what they're smoking to think they can sell that at $50. Even their other party games on other platforms were sold at much less, or were bundled with a controller. Like, give me 1-2 Switch with some Joy-Cons or something. Don't just give me ask $50 for that. Someone said the same thing as you, Shawn. Eternal Darkness 2 with sanity effects.
It'd be awesome.
Now people are talking about Scorpio. It's gonna be overpriced. Luigi's Mansion Switch with HD Rumble would be amazing. That's a good one. Yeah, that would work well.
I agree. All right, I gotta pee, dude.
Okay, you go on us to wrap this up. Okay, last two questions. Will Wii Sports or a Wii Sports like game make a comeback? Pretty
Hopefully
sure that
not.
ship has sailed. Didn't it? How did
Plus,
it?
you can't call it Wii Sports. It didn't do great on the
Wii U.
Wii U. Yeah, the golf was kind of fun because you would put the gamepad down on the ground, and there would be the golf ball, and you would hover over it with the Wiimote and hit it like that. That was pretty cool. But yeah, that ship has sailed.
I'm checking out.
Plus, you can't call it Wii anything.
Yep, the Miis and the Wiis are gone. Gone.
Bye.
Wii Sports Club worldwide sold 380,000.
God, that's terrible.
Yep. Nobody cares. And the last question. Now that Zelda Breath of the Wild is open world and seems to be successful, do you think many more Nintendo games going forward will have to be open world? I think you're seeing Nintendo going a new route with their games. Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
Mario Odyssey.
Mario Odyssey.
So they are expanding the scale of their games. It's not just jump in and play like Mario 3D World. Mario Odyssey looks like it's jump in, play within our world. And I really hope that they expand their other franchises the same way. And on that note, we are going to wrap it up. But if you want to have my full thoughts on every game that came out that was at the event, and my whole thoughts on the Switch hardware, do check out my channel, Hey Jay. I have a 25-minute vlog where I just go through my whole impressions. I'm going to go in the chat, this channel here. You can just go check out the latest upload on that channel if you want. My thoughts on Splatoon 2, Snipper Clips, other games like Street Fighter 2, Has Been Heroes, what's another one? Sonic Mania, 1-2 Switch, ARMS. ARMS is another one we didn't talk about tonight, so check out that vlog if you want more. Shawn, anything we can expect from you this week, or anything you want?
Yeah, Eric and I are working on a Switch video, kind of going over all the launch titles and all the regions, since the system is region free. Doing a little clip of each game, so that'll be cool. So be on the lookout for that. I actually got to record for it tonight.
Cool. That it?
Yeah, just the usual nonsense. I just did a Wii Hidden Gems video on RGT85. You might want to watch it. Hey, watch me too.
That's a good plug.
It was a good video. It came out good.
I would love some.
You know what's funny? I missed so many games that, like, I had a list of games, and then when I watched the video back, I was like, I missed 3 games that I wanted to talk about in this one video. Like, I can make probably legitimately like 3 or 4 videos on Wii Hidden Gems. Like, there's so many.
I made 10. Alternatively, if you want to stay on this channel because you're a new subscriber and you want some suggestions on the Wii, we have a series here called the Wii 100. That's where the Nintendo enthusiast crew came together and found the 100 best titles on the Wii, and we made 10 top 10 lists, so you can check that out here. As for me, over on my personal channel, Hey Jay, I'll be reviewing a few indie games this week, releasing them under the Indie Corner Review brand. And over on Nintendo Enthusiasts, there's nothing really in the works now, but there's a few skits brewing. We gotta get Shawn and I in some more skits. There's a lot more material to work with now.
Indeed.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week. Until then, keep on playing indie and keep it classy, or as Shawn would say,
keep it crassy.
Sing us away. I'm sailing away.
No. When it comes crashing down and it hurts inside, you gotta take a stand. It don't help to hide. If you hurt my